It is Saturday, July 1st, 2017. It is Canada Day here. We're at Killarney Provincial Park. We're out for a 3-day trip, going to Carlyle Lake tonight, and then Sandy Lake tomorrow night, and then back out to George Lake. We're currently on George Lake right now, and this is our first view of the mountain range behind us. It's quite beautiful with all the white granite there. It's calling for a little bit of rain later on today, and then possibly thunderstorms tomorrow. This is George Lake right after it opens up from the launch point. This is the first portage from George Lake into Freeland Lake. This is a view of Freeland Lake, and the sun's starting to peek out. To my left is the portage into Killarney Lake, and then straight ahead is the creek coming from O.S.A Lake, and the portage should be somewhere on the right. We've just got into this boggy area right now. This is the creek we're trying to head up right now, into O.S.A Lake. There's a good current coming through, so hopefully we can avoid the portage with the high water. This is our first beaver dam that we have to pull up and over. It's not too bad. The water is really clear, and there's a nice strong current going through here. Too bad we're not with it. And the blue herring goes.
If you just hit that video button again, it'll stop it.
We're halfway up the creek now. We've just gone over 3 dams. It's lots of water here, and it's saving a pile of time so far. We're a little pond in the middle of the distance between the 2 lakes. This is a view of O.S.A Lake. We got through the creek with no problem. Lots of water going through it. Saved us a ton of time. This is a cliff at the southern end of O.S.A Lake. We're in between the island and the south side. The portage into Carlisle Lake's down that way. This is a view on O.S.A Lake of the white quartzite. This is the start of the portage from O.S.A Lake into Carlisle Lake. Tomorrow we're heading straight across for our first portage. So this is Carlisle Lake right after the portage. Portage wasn't too bad. It was pretty much straight uphill, and then slow descent to Carlisle Lake. First campsite's up here on the left, and then there's one straight across on the right. There's a massive bullfrog. So this is camp for night 1 here on Carlisle Lake. We got a fire going. We're having hot dogs tonight. And we just got the tent over there. It's supposed to rain sometime tomorrow, so we might put up the tarp just beside it. We were out fishing earlier with no luck, and I got the canoe stashed all the way down here. This is a corner site. It's got lots of open area. Really beautiful. So the canoe's tucked back in the bush over there in case the winds pick up tonight, and then we're all the way up here. I was able to dive off that ledge there, which is really nice, and it's got all this exposed rock, which is really quite something. Across the way is a small lake draining into this one and makes a nice waterfall. That campsite over there would be awesome. We got a little private lake in the back. Tonight for supper you got hot dogs. This is it for night one here on Carlisle Lake. We just finished supper, as well as a rainstorm just came through. Hopefully tomorrow will be a bit better weather. We're heading over to Sandy Lake tomorrow. This campsite's been actually really nice. Lots of exposed rock. The day's been fabulous. It opened right up and the sun came out completely. So great weather so far. We'll see you tomorrow. Just frying up some eggs and leftover hot dogs. Gonna make some breakfast wraps today. And coffee, of course. Good morning. It is day 2 here on Carlisle Lake. We're heading over to Sandy Lake today. There should be some high water portages we can avoid. This morning turned out to be beautiful. It was a really nice sunrise and clear skies, and some rain clouds have rolled over, and it's been raining for the last hour now. We don't have a long day, so we're in no real hurry. Behind me is a campsite where Terry Lake flows into Carlisle, so we're gonna go over there and check out the waterfall, and then the portage to get out of this lake is all the way in that back corner. This campsite's been really nice. It's got a nice view. It's high up, probably 20 feet elevation, and yeah, nice tent pad. Have the tarp set up and everything's underneath there. So we're just going to take our time getting out of here today. So this is the campsite in between Terry and Carlisle. The water access is there. Fire pit. There's about 4 or 5 tent pads on this island. So there's lots of camping spots. Our site last night was straight across there on that rock face. And so this is Carlisle to the left, and then this is Terry Lake here. And this is a pretty neat campsite because it shares 2 lakes. Get a better view of Terry Lake. So Carlisle campsite, Terry Lake, and it's a fairly large lake. This is the only spot to get to it, and it's got this nice exposed rock. Saw people jumping off this cliff yesterday, and then this really sweet little waterfall down here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, all this is yours at this site. That's awesome. A view of the waterfall from Terry Lake into Carlisle. We are approaching the Portage from Carlisle into Kakazi, and water's dead calm right now, just like glass. The skies are dark again, so I think we're gonna get more rain. This is the Portage from Kakazi Lake into Norway Lake. It's a 1700 meter, or no, 1400 meter. This is Norway Lake. We just finished the Portage. It's kind of wet in places, but beautiful water, nice and clear. This is Norway Lake again. The water's really clear, and it's a really nice lake by the looks of it. We're going to check out some campsites. We have 1100 meter into Sandy, and then that's it for the night. So we're going to explore this, especially when it's got this incredible view. This is the corner site on Norway Lake, the south end, and that's the fire pit down there in common area, and tent pads over here, and then there's another one deeper into the forest. But best of all, load it with blueberries. I'm going to enjoy these. This is the island campsite on Norway Lake. Fire pit. There's a few nice tent pads, probably 4 or so. And water access is really good. Water is really clear, and it's got that for a view, so really nice site. Here's a close-up of the quartzite. It goes way up. Some waterfalls coming down here, just little trickles. This is the inlet from Sandy Lake into Norway Lake. We're gonna see if we can paddle up it and maybe drag over some beaver dams. There's a loon on its nest. Don't want to scare it off. It's eyeballing us pretty good. This is as far as we're getting up the creek. We'd have to drag over all of this, but still definitely worth coming up here. It's really beautiful up this way. This is leaving the little creek we just went up. Very clear. Clear and gravelly bottom. And Norway Lake's just out there. Oh, you can see the quartzite mountain range pretty much all around you, 180 degrees of it. Yeah.
Ah, sure.
Small waterfall from Portage Lake into Norway Lake, and the 25-meter portage is straight ahead. You gotta hate these short portages where you can see one lake, and then here's the other one. About 20-foot elevation gain though, to Portage Lake. And this is the gist of it. It's a really nice lake, clear water, beautiful again. Just stopped for lunch here on Portage Lake, and we got pepperette wraps, a couple apples, and some figs. And
Heard some rumbling.
the sunny sky has disappeared, and just heard some thunder. This is Portage Lake, the majority of it, and the Portage is down that way into Sandy Lake. So this is the pond halfway to Sandy Lake, and Jeff's map says you can paddle across it if it's high water, but the way it looks, I think it's completely drained out. Beaver dam must have let go or something. That's the only bit of water in here. So this is Sandy Lake. That was a portage there, and campsite somewhere on this little lake. You hear a waterfall over that way, so that'd be the inlet. Quiet little lake, little cliff up there. This is Sandy Lake. It's got a great view from the fire pit here, a couple benches. We got here just in time to basically just set up the tarp, and we got the front open just so we got something to look at. And it's been thundering, haven't seen any lightning yet, but it's raining pretty good out there at the moment. It does look brighter in the sky, so I don't think it's gonna stick around for too long. This is camp for night 2 here on Sandy Lake. The rain clouds have gone away and the sun's out, so we set up the tent. We had the tarp up already when it was raining, and just did a little bit of work on this fire pit. We're gonna go out explore because there's a chain of lakes that connects onto Sandy Lake, and it's quite interesting to see. There's a little bit of land in between the first one, so we'll see what we can do. But yeah, here's water access number 1, and this is the view. Absolutely incredible. The lake's not very big. That's as far as it went to the right. And then the second water access is right here. So the chain of lakes start down there, and we'll see how many we can get to today. Yeah, it's turned out to be a beautiful day again, but as always, the weather seems to be blowing in more clouds. This is the waterfall from O.S.A Lake into Sandy Lake. It's really cool. Here's more of the falls. This is O.S.A Lake. Right after the falls, it was pretty shallow, so I don't think it's possible to, which is back that way, possible to get here during low water. It's a really neat lake. This is the creek feeding into O.S.A Lake. It's really something else. This is more of that creek. It's really cool cliff in here. It's got a spooky feeling inside this little valley. Let's see if we can get our canoe up this way. This is Hemlock Lake. We just came from that direction, and it's really a big bowl. This is the size of the lake, and then Whiskeyjack Lake is up there. It's about a 50-foot elevation gain. I'm not sure if we can get up there or not. This is Whiskeyjack Lake. We didn't portage the canoe up here because of how how much the elevation gain was and how steep it was. The outlet's over there, and all of these lakes have been crystal clear. You see very deep. Hopefully the sun's not ruining this too much. So this is Whiskeyjack Lake. We hiked up this huge mountain. It's really large elevation gain, and so Hemlock Lake's right there through the trees, and then Amicogaming Lake is right over there. So pretty high up that we see all these lakes, and they're all at different elevations. These are the falls flowing from Whiskeyjack into Hemlock Lake. We were up top there and just kind of wrapped around to the bottom here. What an incredible sight. And then the water's flowing underneath all this rubble. You can hear it rumbling underneath. So this is another view of the waterfall. I can feel the mist coming off of it. Really beautiful. So this is it for day 2 here on Sandy Lake. Today was pretty awesome, hitting that chain of lakes all the way to Whiskeyjack. Seeing that waterfall was really incredible. The weather's held out. We had that thunderstorm earlier on, but now it's clear skies. It's nice. It's cooled off a lot though. The sun went over the hill maybe a half hour ago. We're just about to sit down and enjoy supper. Talk to you later. Tonight for supper we got bannock and chili mac with wild morels and a few other goodies in there. So this is the finished product of chili mac, bannock, turned out awesome, and Doritos. We're getting fat tonight. Good morning. It is day 3 here on Sandy Lake. We're heading out today back to George Lake. We're going to make our way through Norway Lake, then Killarney Lake, and possibly O.S.A. Last night it cleared up and no more thunder showers or anything. Today's pretty clear sky, sunny and nice, so we should have a good day out. Today for breakfast we got coffee and pancakes with dehydrated strawberries and apples, and maple syrup is course. And turned out to be a beautiful morning. This is the high water creek from Norway Lake into Killarney Lake. We're supposed to be able to bypass a bunch of portaging through this meadow with high water. A couple beaver dams in between, it says. We're just coming up to the first beaver dam now. I think we're going to be able to run it. See how good Cole is. Oh. Nice.
That was perfect. Grass bottom.
Yeah, that was a nice overflow. This is the end of the creek going into Killarney Lake. There was that one beaver dam that we shot, and then we only had to lift over a log. The rest of it was plenty of water and saved us a lot of portaging. Definitely worthwhile doing if there's high water, and it was beautiful. This is a view of Killarney Lake. This is the east end where it's most narrow. We just came from Norway Lake. It's got a good view of the Quartzite Mountain. This is Killarney Lake right after it's opened up now. Yeah, it's got the mountains. Here's more of Killarney Lake. O.S.A. Lake is straight ahead. And this mountain range wraps all the way around. This is the waterfall on the north end of Killarney Lake, right beside the 3K Portage. There's a large chunk of quartzite on Killarney Lake. This is the 120 meter portage from Killarney Lake into O.S.A. Lake. This is O.S.A. Lake, and this quartzite wraps around the whole lake. It's really incredible view. There's a little bit of that poking up above the trees. Our portage into George Lake somewhere over there. This is the unofficial 1200 meter portage from O.S.A. into George Lake. So this concludes our 3-day trip. Starting at George Lake, we went to Carlisle Lake, Sandy Lake, and we're on O.S.A. right now. We're just about to finish our last portage into George Lake. We're taking the unofficial 1200 meter portage, and then we'll be done. It was a great trip. Just a couple thunderstorms rolled through, but it's been beautiful. It's a really nice place here. Seeing all the waterfalls yesterday was really nice, and I don't have anything negative to say about this place. It's been a great trip all around. Thanks for watching.